What's a new crew? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Cassandra and today I'm taking you guys through a week of easy go-to dinners for my family. Heading into summertime, we like to keep things light, a little bit fresher, but as we are still waiting for things to come out of the garden to kind of accomplish those things, we still fall back on some cozier type easy dishes. A lot of these are from scratch, but I would say that nothing that I made today takes longer than an hour, and I'm really excited to share some of my favorite go-to recipes for my large family with you guys. We're starting off with our first dinner. I am using this cheddar and broccoli rice kind of seasoning mix. I got this from a local Amish shop. It is really, really good. You just have to sprinkle it in your water that you're cooking your rice in. Typically when I make rice, I will do it in like a chicken stock or a beef stock or something like that. Maybe some salsa from the garden that we can to make a Mexican rice. But this makes obviously a cheesy, delicious rice. We're getting all of this stuff kind of whipped up together, and we're going to put our rice on and just let this sit and cook as rice does. As that's going, we're going to go ahead and take a pork steak, or a pork flat rather. When we got our whole pig, I can link that video down below if you want to see exactly what we got, the price breakdown and all of those things. We decided to cut one of our hams into slices, and that's what this is. It's very similar to a pork steak. That's why I kind of call them the same thing. They're interchangeable in my opinion. Now, after cooking with these, I'm realizing that I think I would just like to keep my hams whole. I prefer just roasting a ham in the roaster pot, slicing and dicing it, and having it ready to go in the freezer, already cooked, to just throw in dishes. I like that a lot better, so there's that. But I just went ahead and cooked my pork in the oven with a thing of onion soup mix and a onion soup concentrate, and we glazed some asparagus and carrots with a little bit of honey and our cheesy broccoli rice. That was dinner one. Heading into dinner two, I knew we were going to do some sort of like sauteed or grilled chicken for a sandwich. So I went ahead and made my favorite 40-minute dinner rolls. I will have these linked down below for you guys. Super simple, very easy, and I like these so much because you don't have to make these like in the morning and have them proof all day. It's not like a loaf of bread or anything like that. 40 minutes is really what it takes, and I absolutely love them. They're very easy to whip together. I can't talk enough good things about these dinner rolls. They're also these hamburger buns, excuse me, but they are fantastic. My family loves them. We almost never buy buns from the grocery store anymore because we just prefer these buns. Now, once these are mixed up, I go ahead and start rolling these into balls and letting them rest. So while my KitchenAid was just kind of kneading that dough a little bit more, I wanted to start prepping our potato wedges. If you don't have a French fry cutter, like I don't, we kind of resort to doing potato wedges a lot. We really like these. We are going to just kind of slice these into our wedges and get them soaking in some cold water. This is just going to help kind of release the starches, and it makes for a crisper potato wedge or French fry. We really like to do this. I'm letting mine sit for about probably 45 minutes or so in this water before we're baking them in the oven, and we are going to dress these with a little bit of oil and Parmesan cheese and chives. That's how we really like our potato wedges. So now that my potato wedges are soaking, we're going to go ahead and roll out our dough for our hamburger buns. This gets 8 rolls, so I like to break it into quarters and then cut each quarter in half to get my 8 buns. These do proof pretty well. They rise really well, so don't worry about if these balls look really small or your kind of dough balls look tiny, because they do proof really well and they rise really well and all those things. So we're just going to roll these and get these ready to just do a little bit of a proof, and they are going to be ready to throw in the oven.
I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven that found my bones and gave me
we have all of these laid out on our greased pan, I'm just going to go ahead and cover them with a tea towel and let them sit just for a couple of minutes while we are getting our potato wedges finished off. So this is when I'm going to dredge them with a little bit of olive oil and salt. And that's all I'm going to put on them right now. I'm going to toss them and let them bake in the oven at 375 for about 20-25 minutes or so, basically until they are really starting to get tender and they probably have only somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes left. After they get to that point, I'm going to pull them back out of the oven, dredge them with our chives and our Parmesan cheese or whatever you want to put on these. I'm going to put them back in the oven and let them go for, like I said, about another 5-10 minutes or so, and then they are going to be perfectly crispy and delicious. That's how we really like to do them, but you can season these with whatever you want to. Now we're going to move on to our chicken. It is very rare that I will do whole chicken breasts as a meal. It's just not very cost efficient, so we don't do it very often. But when we do it, it usually is in the summertime. Typically, I would like to shred it or dice it and kind of throw it in something. It makes the meat stretch further, but that's not what we were doing today. So I'm taking my chicken breasts, putting them down in my pans or in my Dutch oven, whatever you have is totally fine, with a little bit of olive oil and then your choice of spices. I kept mine pretty basic, just garlic, onion powder, seasoned salt, pepper, because I am going to make a honey mustard dressing, which you see here, and it's just mixing mustard and honey together until you get it to a point where it tastes good for you. And this is our completed dinner. You can see our crispy, delicious potato wedges, our beautiful hamburger buns, and our sauteed chicken. Very simple, very easy. The next day was my birthday, so my husband picked up Mexican takeout from my favorite local place here, and it was absolutely fantastic. So this was dinner tonight. Loved it. Loved that I didn't have to cook. I got a mixed fajita skillet, so I had like shrimp and chicken and steak and all sorts of things. Sausage, peppers, onions, tomatoes, all of the wonderful things. So that is what we did for dinner this night, and it was awesome that I didn't have to cook. So thank you for that. Then we head into the next dinner, which is actually our probably favorite meal of, I just lost track of time. It's dinner time and we have to do something, and that is our one pot chicken Alfredo. I called my husband on the way home and I was like, hey, can you pick up a rotisserie chicken and we'll make that Alfredo pasta? Absolutely. So all you have to do is do 2 cups of cream, 2 cups of chicken stock, and 16 ounces or a pound of your choice of noodle. It doesn't have to be a spaghetti noodle. It can be absolutely anything you want. I've done this with bow ties and penne and anything you want. To be honest, I like it better with the penne pasta, but that's just me. The only thing I really season this with is either pepper or a Cajun seasoning, because my chicken stock is full of herbs and all of anything else that I would like to throw in here. But you're just gonna have to let this kind of simmer and do its thing, put the cap on it, stir it occasionally, and it's very hands-off. In the pot next to me, I did some broccoli. Normally I would put the broccoli in my one pot meal, but I decided to keep it separate this time, and then I just shredded that rotisserie chicken, threw it in with our pasta, mixed it up, and it was done. You can also throw in kielbasa or sausage. You can leave this vegetarian and just throw in a ton of veggies. Do it with a side salad or a loaf of bread or whatever you want. And this was dinner this night. Very simple, very easy. And like I said, my favorite go-to dinner when I lost track of time and everyone needs to eat.
Guess it's time to get better.